Thank you, Juliana, inviting me again to this very timely, very important conference. My title is Impact of Crisis and How to Keep the Spark Alive. Under this title, I would like to be positive, but at the same time, I have to be realistic and must stick to the truths. I was born in 1942. End of May, I will be 80 years old. My generation have witnessed and experienced all kinds of wars, crises, and I'm sorry to say, various massacres in our region. Frankly, I did not expect the complex and dark developments of today. Living in Turkey, in East Mediterranean and Middle East, the most intricate historical region of the world, means to live on the edge of perpetual crisis. In this perpetual crisis-stricken region, we continuously tried and still try to adapt to severe political, economic, cultural transformations that are shaking up our lives. I am one of the happy people in Turkey who could work in the art and culture field and at least to overcome this kind of lifelong hard situations. At first, we experienced globalization. It was a new utopia, which has immediately polluted itself with the current neo-capitalist and post-truth regime. The socio-political order we are going through has been named as post-truth. We are witnessing that political and economic powers intervene in every angle of individual and social life, and particularly to our basic belief in so-called truth. We are also experiencing the evolution of neo-capitalism towards a new rigidity, which is called zombie capitalism by the economists. And it is not accurate to speculate, but we are watching an unprecedented scenario. All this combined with conditions of pandemics was combined with pandemics is 2 years. For the last 2 years, we experienced how the pandemic forced upon the humanity the naked truth of survival, to die or to live. As if it is not enough, since February, we unexpectedly entered into a new era of war. Now a different and unpredictable order must be adopted. And this will probably be experienced into an unforeseeable future. Global political and economic activity is also being structured according to this situation. I must say now we received some Russian artists in Istanbul who could not live in their home countries, and also Ukrainian artists are now in Istanbul art scene. I hope the NGOs will help them to get over this difficult situation. One truth, one that is highly relevant to dilemmas inherent to global art and culture industry, is formulated by the world-renowned Greek economist, author, and politician Yannis Varoufakis. He is the founder of DiEM25, a progressive democratic movement in European Union. I quote what he says, which is related to also to art and culture. This is how capitalism ends. not with a revolutionary bang, but with an evolutionary whimper, just as it displaced feudalism gradually, until one day the bulk of human relations were market-based and feudalism was swept away, so capitalism today is being toppled by a new economic mode, techno-feudalism. Yes, we witness now that this techno-feudalism pushes the boundaries of art production and digitize it from production process to the process of reaching this society. A new challenge for artists, art experts, as well as the art market. Okay, I had to repeat all these well-known problems, but now the question is, what is the function and vision of global art and culture within these conditions? First of all, artists with their works and activities have created and continued creating awareness, knowledge, and resisting strategies about all these problems I have mentioned, even during the lockdown days. It was online, but it was effective. This is also the age of visual language. Knowledge is also visual, culture and information is also visual. All this can affect much wider audiences than ever before. Digital technologies have provided a collective verse. They provided metaverse, but also a collective verse. For the verbal and visual critical thinking, this is very important. With its creative, independent, free character of the most effective tool of communication, collaboration, and participation, is provided with contemporary artworks and contemporary art making, which is at the same time the major promotion component of global culture industry and neo-capitalism. The populist culture industry and neo-capitalism has to reconcile with contemporary art and culture. The relational aesthetics of this contemporary production empowers the theoretical and practical communication and collaboration between all sciences, humanities, and academic divisions, as well as between all the realities of human life in this planet. Therefore, new rules and securities should be established for the benefit of the artists by all the governments. Effective reading of artworks, which includes making prediction based on prior knowledge, checking understanding, asking questions, is first of all an essential parameter for an intellectual achievement, but also an ability to overcome the confusions created by politically and economically manipulated information, visual pollution, and excess of tragedy, which is called post-truth. Art production should have new priorities within this system, new institutional infrastructures to overcome the possible effects of all the conflicts. For example, the Biennale generated for the Society of Spectacle and the Culture Industry provides a system of dissemination of global art production, facility for large public to evaluate artworks. Through the relational aesthetics and critical content of the artworks, people are invited to follow up important concepts, ideas, statements, and interpret and get involved in the debates of contemporary art subjects. What is actually happening during these days of the Venice Biennale. During these two lockdown years, online activities provided a wide range of information and criticism. The art and culture NGOs have fulfilled their responsibility with various conferences, seminars, and presentations of exhibitions. Trieste Contemporanea is one of the most effective NGOs in this region. These NGOs should be empowered by the governments, by the state, in financial and logistic issues. However, even if the consciousness about the effect of cultural policies on the development of democracies is widened and emphasized the progress, in many societies it is too slow and shallow. When we ask the governments, the state institutions to fulfill their responsibilities towards this new situation, they will be not so quickly, they will not adapt themselves so quickly to the situation. So we have to force them to really reconstruct the concepts and the logistics of all the systems. In non-democratic regions, because east of Vienna, this is the case, obstacles stand in the way of contemporary art productions, and usefulness of contemporary art productions are limited. Throughout half a century, cultural sectors of European Union and these countries have been meeting at the forums and discussing these themes from different angles and perspectives. These meeting platforms for private official cultural sectors as well as NGOs of politically or geographically opponent or allied countries have created an opportunity for cultural and artistic exchange. Even if it is on more individual level, it was very useful. These initiatives pushed the participants of different or dissonant cultural backgrounds and echelon to take on more tasks and responsibilities to equalize their positions in global art scenes. These initiatives should be empowered. The funds European Union is disseminating to countries where there are less democratic systems was very useful during the 90s, and up, for example, for Turkey, it was up to 2010. After 2010, the political situation in Turkey became negative, so the funds stopped. In fact, much wanted reciprocity between cultures take place in these platforms, in our platforms now, as a spark. To keep this spark alive is a very pressing issue. Thank you.